Hey everybody, it's Tamil, the Intuitive Empress, here with our moon message for the new moon in Sagittarius. I am really happy to be doing this video and to just be doing something creative and doing something that I really love to do. The last week has been super emotional for me, so to be able to kind of channel that emotion and passion into something for you guys just makes me feel really good. So thank you for watching. Thank you for receiving these messages. The reason for all of that emotion is we are in the shadow of Venus retrograde, and Mercury is also retrograde. The moon is in Scorpio as I'm filming this, and Venus and Mercury are in Scorpio. There's also some things going on with Pisces. I'll have it probably in the description box, but there's a lot of planets traversing the deep waters. And Chiron specifically is what's most stands out to me being in Pisces right now, is because there's a lot of old woundings and it's coming up in our reading, and it's helping us to set our intentions for Sagittarius, the new moon in Sagittarius, and for the rest of Sagittarius season as we get ready for a new year. I hope everybody's doing well. Before I recorded this video, or in preparation to record this video, I watched our Gemini full moon message just to kind of check with myself and see where I was in doing the work that full moon wanted us to do. And it was around clarity, and it was around communication. And the last few days, the reason why they have been so emotional is because I had the tough conversations with myself, a few discussions with other people, nothing, but mainly my focus was getting clear and being honest with myself. And so as we get ready for this new moon, as we prepare to set our intentions, I ask Spirit questions that will help us figure out what we need to ask for. Because with the new moon in Sagittarius, it's a super, what astrologers and my faves are describing as like a very lucky and powerful new moon, because of where it's sitting, with Jupiter being like this, its home, and wanting to give us everything we're asking for, which means it's really important for us to know what it is that we want. Because when you ask for something, or when you call things into you, it can be a mixed bag, and sometimes you can't pick and choose what you want and you don't want, especially when it comes to people. So we're needing to be super clear about defining what we want next year to look like for us. And we also want to be sure that we're not just trying to simply wish away problems by the luck or by the power of a new moon, especially one that has as much juice as this one, but that we're successfully doing the work that the Scorpio season and the Venus and Mercury retrogrades, death, rebirth, have asked us to do, so that what we're moving towards is the actual right and most authentic direction and expression of our true selves. So the first question I ask is, what are we running away from? Because Sagittarius is about adventure, it's about aiming for something new, always trying to figure out what's best and what's next, and learning more. And so we got the Ten of Fire, and this is us trying to escape doing the work that is required of us to achieve the success that our heart desires. as we're ending the year, a lot of us are kind of evaluating how far we've come, but still feeling like we have so far to go. And so the message from Spirit is this is always a journey. It's never ending. You're never going to get it done. Everything that you want to do in your life, the fulfillment and the joy and the success comes from actually doing the work, not the end point, not the destination that you have pictured in your mind. And so what we're running away from is hurting us, because that's where all of our joy lies, is in the work, in the journey. And this is a Sagittarius card, a Sagittarius energy, being a fire card, and you can see it here. This is also running away from doing the wrong type of work. Investing, there's a lot of yard work going on outside, but this is the time that I have set aside to do these videos. So I'm sorry if the noise is distracting, but the 10 of Fire in Sagittarius season is redirecting us to close out a chapter of impulsive decisions, of working harder, not smarter. And we find ourselves working harder and not smarter when we're forcing ourselves down a path that really isn't the right fit for us. So that's also something we're running away from. What are we running towards? We got the Magician. In this deck, it is the Baba Orisha, or a Babalawo, which is a priest. Would also be like the high priest. And this is us becoming clearer about what it is that we want. We're running towards a feeling of empowerment, of more control, of focus, knowing where we want to target with our bow and arrow. This is precision. This is ritual. This is routine. This is connection to God. This is alignment. That is what we're running towards. This can look like laying out what it is our routines are going to be. How are we going to finish our book? Me. Are we going to set time aside to write it every day? What is our writing hour? So whatever, something that I was able to accomplish this year was a fitness routine. What do we enjoy doing that will make our goals seem less of a burden and more of a natural progression in our life? This is discipline. This is mastery. And that's a little bit about, that's also what's represented in this 10 of Fire. It's just that we were viewing the mastery process, everything, all of the lessons, all of the mistakes, we were viewing them through the wrong paradigm. And so it's time for us to shift to understand that those failures, those mistakes, those letdowns were a part of our mastery. But it is time for us to step into something new, something more authentic, something that's a better fit for us, and really have control over it. More control over our path. And of course, Spirit is guiding us. The universe is setting things up to help the way be made easier. When we allow things to happen more naturally, it doesn't feel so forced. And so this is also about being able to recognize the path that's being laid in front of us by God. Now, where should we be aiming, and what should we have the courage to do? we got the Nine of Fire, and this is taking a step back from the forcing. This is retreating, and it's interesting because this whole spread is about endings and new beginnings, and even in a season of like action, what I'm feeling is that, and that's what Sagittarius, is known for, is adventure and action. But in this new moon and in the year ahead, as we prepare for it for the rest of the year, we're actually being called to do much less than we've been doing because we're tired. We are exhausted. We are drained. The refreshing and the eagerness for the new path will come from the alignment that we get when we go back into meditation, go back into prayer. This looks like fasting. I don't want you to isolate yourself because I know this is a holiday season and we really do need that community. But this may also be you really, really needing to fortify your spirit before you get into close proximity with a lot of people, especially people that you're not around all the time. This is calling spirit in, calling your ancestors in to really guide you and show you the answer. What is the next step? What is the next best step from where we are? Oprah always says that, kind of like when things are really, really dark, when you're not really sure, you have to get still so you can make the right, the next best move. And I'll find the quote from her somewhere. She was giving a talk in a university in an interview style, and I loved that from her. And that's kind of where we are now, because we still may not have the clarity that we asked for from the full moon. It's not been a full cycle yet. And with the full moon in Cancer at the end of this month, we may see a more complete picture about what is in store for us next year. But to tap into those messages and to tap into that guidance, we'll need to get really, really, really still. Now, where do we need to focus more of our energy? And we got the Ten of Air. In this deck, this talks about financial loss. This talks about devastation. The Ten of Swords in the traditional tarot is really, of course, about mental anguish. So giving this all over to God is really, really necessary before we start trying to rush to fix things. But this is also about going back to the dreams that we let die. And I'm thinking about the scripture, "Can these dry bones live?" And they can. They can. We are needing to breathe new life into the dreams that we allowed to die this year. The dreams that we forgot about, the dreams that we tried to run away from, our true purpose that we've been too afraid to let live and let thrive. And so that's where we need to focus more of our energy. The solution to a lot of our financial problems, if you're experiencing them, and even if they're not problems, just you knowing that you're not exactly where you want to be, the key is those dreams that you're not pursuing. And it's not about them automatically equaling millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, although that may very well be the case for many of us. But it's about the joy and reviving your passion for life. And when you have that, everything else falls into place. But you have to breathe new life into these dreams. Remember what makes you happy and what brings you joy and what doesn't feel like such a burden. This is about, I feel a lot of disappointment from you all from this year. For me, I recognize myself in this reading as well. But I've really come to the acceptance already, knowing that I haven't and you have not failed. You haven't, it's not, even if you feel like you've let other people down, this is your life. This is your journey. And it really doesn't matter if you did what was expected of you, if it was going to kill you anyway. It was going to be the death of you. So this new moon is really about us getting the courage, the fire, and the bravery to start acting on the things we've always wanted to do. How should we set our intentions for this new moon? And you'll see this reflected when I post our new moon intentions and affirmations. Is Elewa, Papa Legba, in the more American voodoo diasporan expressions. This is about opening doors for us. Asking for the door to be opened so that we are doing what is walking the path that is divinely ours, so we can stop forcing things now. This is asking for it to be super clear to us what it is we're supposed to be doing, and being really clear in our prayer for the doors to just be open wide for us. This looks like opportunities and emails being sent to us from people, or getting phone calls from people, referrals that we didn't exert any effort to get, just to kind of show us yes and affirm this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so that is what our intentions need to be. But what that requires is us not being afraid to answer the call or to open the door. It's unlocked and we're standing in front of it, but we're too afraid to even try. So our intentions are also about the bravery to cross over into this new life, into this more authentic expression, this new part of our journey where we're surrendering to God, surrendering our path in our life over to the Creator, letting ourselves be used as a vessel and not forcing so much. That is your moon message. If you are not a part of the Sacred Sisterhood, you can join with the link in my description. It's through Patreon right now, but one of the things I'm really praying about is converting that over to a subscription just directly through ImpressiveLife.com, just so that I can kind of keep all of the content in one place. It can get confusing when I'm sending y'all all over the place, but for now, that is where it is. The link is in the description box. It starts at $5 a month, and you're getting a broader look per each month at what the energies are, and it's more coaching telling us what it is that we need to do to flow more with the ebbs of the universal energy. I'm really excited about next year. I have some announcements that I'll be making soon. Getting a little less covert and undercover with my mysticism. It's kind of a situation like this where a door and an opportunity just came to me. And it was really a sign that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I love you guys. If you need a one-on-one, I highly encourage it, especially this time of year. I'm doing a special for year ahead spreads for $49.99. You can book. The link for that will also be in the description box. I'm really loving doing those because it's been a year since I've been publicly offering these services. But before I offered them to the public, I was reading for my friends and my family, and I used the year ahead spread a lot, and the feedback that I've gotten over the last 2 or 3 months, because that marked around about a year, has been really affirming. So these spreads really, really help you to, as you journey through the year and our calendar year. Great for check-ins, great for guidance, and you can revisit it because the readings are recorded. They're not live, and they come with email guidance as well. So I look forward to reading for you when you book that. Be sure and follow me on Instagram at The Intuitive Empress if you do not already, where I do daily tarot pulls called Sacred Selections. And I think that's it. Have a great, great day and happy new moon.